Good morning, good night, good evening. Good evening, good night, no, same thing, but good afternoon, everybody. Good to have you all here. It's 16 past 7 here in Ireland. Hope you are okay. Again, Wanderley and I here
Yes.
to have a kind of conversation about the gospel according to Spiritism. And today we will start a new chapter, chapter 15, which, by the way, it's one of the top 3 chapters I have in the Gospel according to Spiritism. Don't ask me what's the top the number one, because I don't know, but it's good to share this with you all. Okay, while people are joining us, um, let me do the initial prayer. So let's sit comfortably if you can. Let's raise up our thoughts towards our mentors of Spiritist Society of Ireland, mentors of your country, your city, your house, your mentor. And let's ask them to give us a healing, to reorganize our thoughts, fulfill us with energy, taking away all the bad thoughts, bad energies, making connection with superior spirits. Calm us down, reducing our heartbeat, in order to allow us to understand today's conversation, interacting with us, helping us to deliver the best message. So be it. Amen. Okay. Hey, Patrocinio, how are you, my friend? I'm glad you are here. And let me open the chapter here. So, the chapter topic is without charity, there is no salvation. And to start to talk about it, Kardec chose 2 passages one from Matthew's and another one from Luke. Same story, just different views, like everything we have. And here they were discussing when we do something to our brother, when we do something to someone with love, we are doing this to, for example, Jesus himself. Like he says here, for I was hungry and you gave me meat. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. It's not just going there. It's not just give a cloth to someone on the Christmas time because, oh, it's Christmas time, let's do this and this. We can see most of the charity things happen during the Christmas time. I I'm saying this charity is valid, yes, thumbs up, 100%. But what Jesus saying here in the message was doing that charity when you do with your heart, with your smile, not expecting anything, any payback. Doing this because you want to. Doesn't matter the consequence. Doesn't matter. Of course, don't do anything. The consequence is going to be bad. What I'm saying, the consequences here is I don't care. I will help that person, and that's it. I don't care if they will not talk to me or the, I don't want they. I want to help. This is the main here thing. This is the main thing here, and this is what it's our starting point for today's conversation. What do you think, Andre?
Here is quite nice in the beginning of the chapter, because like Stevan was saying, right in the beginning, even before Stevan was talking, we used to say that without the church, used to say, without church, there is no salvation. And then this idea was a bit, we can say it was a wrong idea completely, actually, because the church used to say that without following these ideas, we couldn't be saved. We couldn't really, God wouldn't appreciate who we are and what we are doing here on earth. But then, in fact, Paul had said, without charity, there is no salvation. Saint was like Stevan said, when you do something with your heart, then that's the correct way to do it. Not only following an idea or following an institution or following someone. That's why here I believe the spirits, they bring this part, because the apostles, they wanted to know like what would be good enough for them to be saved. In the first part here, like Stevan was saying, we have here in Matthew, 2 times when Jesus said that, like, for those who did that to me, who did that to the other ones, to the ones who are in more need, like the ones who are in trouble in life, they have done that to me. And at the same time, for those who haven't done anything good, for those who are in need, stranger people, they have not done that to me. And then he comes with the parable of the Samaritan, which is the same idea. You have someone strange, you have someone with different culture, you have someone who believes in something completely different than you, and sometimes could be your enemy. But even your enemies sometimes would be a gesture of nobility, to show mercy to them. And that's what we see in this parable. A man just helps the other because the other needs help. It doesn't matter who he is. And that's what the main idea here, like Stevan was saying, is to do something to the other without thinking about, just doing for the sake of doing, and doing because it's right. Because who said it's right? The church, your neighbors, someone else, your family? No, because your conscience says to you to help that person, to perhaps try to do something that's the right thing to do. So here, once we think about this part of the gospel, when you think about charity, it's everything, as we said here many times. It's not only giving something to someone in the Christmas, like Stevan said, but could be to send some good vibrations to someone, or when someone is quite anxious, you are just there to hear that person, to listen to that person. You are just there to say, it's okay, everything's gonna be okay. That's an act of charity also. Many times in the Bible, we have times where Jesus didn't perform any miracle. where he didn't give anything to the people surrounding him. He didn't multiply any bread or any fish in most of the parables, only one, at least from the canonical gospel. But what did he give to the others? He gave good words. He gave examples. He gave hope to people, and that's all charity.
Mm-hmm.
So he did what he had inside of him. And how did he do it? Did he say beautiful words only? No, he set examples through his actions. So perhaps we can say that the best charity you can give is your good example. Because once you set a good example to someone, like Stevan, for example, who has two little ones, you are doing charity for them. Because sometimes you're not saying anything to them, but they're watching you. They are seeing what you are doing. That's a part of this gospel, of this part in the gospel. What do you think, Stevan?
No, you're completely right. But uh, Jesus, at the beginning, he mentioned somewhere, and where is this place? It is when the earth leave the phase or the situation of trials and atonements. It is when we go into a regenerate and happy world.
Yeah,
Because,
still far away,
no, yeah,
very far away.
it's a far, 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 far away galaxy,
Yeah, yeah,
But we are saying, what differentiate uh, that people or the spirits who live in there and compared to us? It's because here on earth, uh, we do pride and selfishness prevail against anything. Oh, Esteban, but I am not selfish. I know a lot of people is not selfish. Great, happy days. But let's do a maths here. The Earth is, I don't know, 8 billion people. The population of the Earth. Let's put it around. Let's round this. 8 billion people. Not all 8 billion people are bad or they are doing evil things. We can say like 1 million, 2 million people, all out of these 8 billion people are really bad, really evil, doing things in a selfish way, doing things in a prideful, putting me first instead of us. Let's say, what happened with the other 6 or 7 billion people? Are they good? No, they are not good. They are in defense. This is what separates us from a happy world, from a regenerated world, because we have here a bunch of people, the great majority, they decide don't do nothing. I don't good I don't do good things, but I don't do bad things as well. They are in defense. They don't choose a side. Even though we do have a lot of people here using the kind of poker face, they show to everybody they are nice, they are happy there, but he's a pool of selfishness, prideful. Anyone who step in his way, he will do everything in order to get rid of that person. So we do have a lot of people like this. And the only way to sort this is charity. These people who are in the happy words, they transmit charity. They think at the same time in themselves and in the others. They evaluate, they do the exercise that St. Augustine taught us. At the end of the day, they think what they did, what need to be fixed, what needed to be revealed, what need to be reinforced because he did think good things, you know. So we don't have this. So, and at the moment when we think about it, a good action, it is when you do something to the others without any intention. Like Wanderley said, with and I would say, Wanderley, help me. I think Chico said, like I said, I follow Kardec because he said without charity there is no salvation. Because he said without spiritism there is no salvation. I will not follow him. Something like this.
Yeah, he was
Uh,
saying that if one day Kardec says this, he would not follow Spiritism anymore, because it's not
yes.
Spiritism, it's charity,
Yeah.
which is important.
Yeah. So this is what we need to do, guys. This is what we need to put ourselves in a very good position. And an example, like a doctor of law came to Jesus and tried to test him. You know, who is my neighbor? Who is my king? You know, like who? And then Jesus gave the one. He has a wonderful parables, but this is very good parable. It's a parable in which we don't need to use too much brain to understand it. It's is a parable without uh, sublinear message. Is straightforward, which is the parable of the Samaritan. You know, there is a guy who was going down to Jericho, and he was assaulted during the way, and he was with a lot of wounds. So Jesus put all the classes of that time. He's put a priest, he put a man of law, and he put a Samaritan. Samaritan, still today, the Jewish guys, they do not accept the Samaritans. They still have their raw. So they Jesus put all the classes, the existing classes of that epoch, and the one who was not uh, well seen that time stopped to help the guy, to unknown guy. He doesn't know who was the guy. He saved him. He looked after him. And at the end, Jesus asked to the doctor of law, who was the
Who was his neighbor? Who was
who
a
was the neighbor,
Samaritan?
and he said, those one who I put my love towards him, to my compassion towards them. So even though the doctor of law, he knew the answer, he knew what to do. Why I know that? Because of the answer. He didn't say, "Oh, it was the Samaritan." No, he didn't say it was the Samaritan. He said it was that one who gave love, who gave compassion towards a brother. So this is the main point. How you treat someone, how you feel someone, how you act upon that person. We are in a world in constant movement. Nothing is the same any time. One day is different the other day. Sometimes we have good days, sometimes we have bad days. Yes, but being a charitable person, doesn't mean, oh, I will be a charitable person and then I will won't have any problems. No, it's the other way around. As much as you are charitable, as more you have problems. Yesterday I was watching a TV and I saw. I think I watched. My wife, Chris, showed me. I think yes, that's it. She showed me in a city on the countryside in the state of São Paulo, Bauru. There is a group, a family. Start with a family group. Now it's more people. A solidarity shower. What they do? The guy adapted a kind of a trailer, a small trailer. No, he improvised a shower there or something like this, and he parks I think it's once a week. He parks the car, this trailer, in a strategic point in the city. And that day they offer to those people who live on the streets a chance to have a warm shower, a plate of food, and new clothes. They started to help, like they prepare a kit for 15, but appeared 20. No. And then they start growing, 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 growing. And this model is being copied in many other cities in Brazil and outside of Brazil. So, and you think, oh, because they are doing this, they do not have problems. Of course, they have a lot of problems. Perhaps more problems than ourselves, but they don't give up. They don't give up. They keep going. And what made them keep going? The love among the other. They don't judge if that guy is on the street because of drugs, or because of he was a very bad guy. They don't care. Anyone who stands on the queue will receive fresh clothes, a soap, if a man, a razor to shave, and a warm shower. And of course, at the end of the shower, they will eat a lunch or some drink something. Very simple, nothing fancy, nothing. No, it's very simple. I talk too much, Wanderley.
Thanks, Steven, for sharing this. But once we think again about charity, if you like this example that Steven gave, someone is just thinking about the other just for the sake of love, of being, nice with the other person, without thinking about religion, without thinking about any kind of dogma or any kind of philosophy to follow. If we ask someone, if that person has a minimum, I can say, sense of the word, and if you ask that person what is the correct thing to do, if that was the last thing you would do in order to be saved, if there was salvation, I'd say most of the people, they would think that about helping the others. That's why throughout history, many people, they weren't religious, but they were practicing charity. Many people, they were fighting for their country. Many people, they were fighting to free their people, and that was an act of charity also. We have many names: Martin Luther King, Gandhi. We have people who are fighting, even Greta Thunberg, I forgot her surname, this young lady fighting for the environment. So all these acts, even if we see them only as a political act, they are charitable actions also, because they are thinking about the goodness of the others and of that group. But each one of us, we can act differently. If you are someone who perhaps believe in this more political charity, do it. If you are someone who perhaps is based yourself in the gospel, in any kind of religious book, and you want to practice charity, following certain traditions, do it. If you are someone who don't believe in anything, but you don't think it's right to have people on the streets without clothing, who are hungry, who are living in the cold, do some charity. So we all can agree here that all good humans, they see helping the others, doesn't matter for what purpose or for what reason, as something good. That's why here we have in the Gospel according to Spiritism item 5, saying that charity and humility is the path to salvation, and selfishness and pride are the ones which ruin this salvation. So here we are talking about to help someone and being humble. So if you do this, you're gonna find your path to goodness, your path to happiness, even if that happiness, like Stevan said, perhaps imply for you to have certain problems. Because we all gonna have problems. It's not because you help the others that you don't have problems. Like Stevan said, most of the people who are helping the others are having problems. Who don't have problems in general? The selfish one. Because the only thing is about himself. So he doesn't care about the others. So everything's for him. So more than likely he won't have much problems. And that's why here in the gospel says this is the principle which can enlighten us in order to understand what is the love of God, which is basically quite simple. Love God with all your soul and all your understanding, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. But how can you love something that you don't know, which is God? That's why he says here, your love and your knowledge. Because for you to love something that you don't know, you must love that thing, or at least you must understand that thing. But here he says, but love your neighbor as you love yourself. But to love our neighbor as we love ourselves is something that we can do. Perhaps we don't love God because we don't understand God, and that's okay. But your neighbor, the people in need, they are surrounding us. So these ones we can try to love. And love does that mean that I'm gonna take all the poor people and bring to my table and say, guys, sleep in my bed? Not really. If you can do that, happy days for you. Most of us we can't. But again, it's trying to offer what you have the best. Maybe it's your time, maybe it's your ears to hear someone, maybe it's your food or it's a shower, doesn't matter. So he's trying to say to us here that we should treat the others as we want to be treated. So we don't want to be treated badly, do we? So I don't think Steven wants to be treated badly, either myself. So once we understand that charity is just giving something to someone that I want to receive also, and that is someone who knows the responsibility that we have in society. Because some people, they are selfish and prideful because they don't care. They don't see their responsibility yet, but they will see once perhaps they are in a position where they need help. Because sometimes people, they are too prideful and too selfish because they don't need help. Everything's been given to them, but that's temporary. One day life will take that thing. Maybe that person one day will be in a hostile situation, and that person will have no one, or only will have the people who he gave or she gave material things. But those surrounding him doesn't love him. They will love his money. They love his wealth. So we have to understand that sometimes life gives difficult situations to us in order to us to be a bit less prideful, a bit less selfish. And then the process of acting charity may start there. Because you're not going to give to anyone else anything that you simply don't want. You're going to try to give your best. You're not going to say hi to someone just because you have to say hi to someone. You're going to say an authentic hi. hey, how are you? How was your day? You're gonna be a bit more thoughtful in your actions because that's what you want to receive. So once you understand that charity is simply what I want to receive, but now I'm giving, but tomorrow I might be in need. Then we start to act a little bit different. We start to be more humble and less prideful, I believe. What do you think, Steven?
Thumbs up. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Uh, but it's important to say we we don't want wake up tomorrow and say, "Hey, and now I'm a charitable person." No, what we want to say here is try with the small steps. Start doing this with those is easy to do. Which ones? Our neighbors, those friends who are close to us. Try to with them first. Then you start to go to to others. Most of the problems of when we want to say I want to do charity, they want to do a lot of things at the same time and end up doing nothing. But remember, charity is perhaps answer with a smile after someone say bad words to you. Charity is you notice even those who are cleaning, who are sweeping the floor, who are cleaning your desk, who are collecting your garbage. Have you looked then and look in their eyes and say, "Hey, good morning, good afternoon." No, I don't need to. You need to engage in a conversation. If you can, better. But at least make that person feel, oh, I am. They notice me. I am someone. Someone can see me. This is being charitable as well. This is a good way to start. So then we start because a lot of people they want to do job, but they prepare a miraculous plan. Well done, of course, is great, but come on, let's start with those who are next to us. You know, see someone, see your neighbor. Do you know the name of your neighbor? Do you know your colleagues at work, where they coming from, what's their family situation, if you're divorced, if you're married, if not, or you just act like I'm here from 8 to 5. At 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I close my 5 o'clock, I close my laptop, go home. That's it. I just do it. I paid for acting like this. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. We always have the decision in our hands. We always have what to choose. I know, depends of the environment, depends where we are, depends the situation we are. Things might change. Yes, great. But be certain that at the moment you did the best. Even though later you will recognize what you did is not the best. But right now, today, doing this, it is my best. Okay?
Stevan, once we think about St. Paul, we have some messages of him in in the gospel. Of course, we are mentioning him because he is here, but we couldn't mention anyone who helped the others. But he mentions that, like in the end here, that seeing that all those who practice charity are disciples of Jesus without putting any embargo on whatever they sect they may belong to. So what he's saying here, that everyone who is practicing charity are disciples of Jesus, even if you don't believe, or you are a disciple of goodness, we can put it this way, if you don't want to mention the word of Jesus here, if you don't believe, or if you believe, or if you believe in something different. So everyone who is practicing charity in a level is doing something good to themselves and to the others, so for this big energy or for God, as we say here in Spiritism. So doesn't matter what you believe, you can do good. And that's why without charity there is no salvation, because if everyone who passes away, they would have to carry, let's say, to them a token to get into somewhere better. Okay, let's say you believe in after life after death, and since you believe, maybe you don't believe in spiritism or you don't believe in Jesus or anything like this, but you believe there is something after death. So since you believe that, you want to go to this place where your soul will keep surviving and you still will keep living without this physical body. So you don't want to be suffering once you are there, correct? So then,
Yeah.
once you are in the spiritual world, if the good spirits or whoever is there, let's say the porter who was going to ask you for the ticket, he wouldn't ask you, "Hey, where did you study? Which country did you live? What was your skin color? Was your sexuality? Which political party do you believe?" They're not gonna ask you this. They're gonna ask you, where is your charity token? What do I mean by that? Did you practice any kind of charity once you were alive? They're not gonna ask you if you believe in Jesus or not. They're not gonna ask you if you believe in spiritism or not. They're not gonna ask you if you believe in anything at all. They're just gonna ask you, where is your token? Where is your charity token? Of course, in Spiritism, we know that there is no such thing. But once we pass the way, our perispirit, our actions is inside, is surrounding us. So the spirits, they know who we are because of our perispirit. And that's what defines us, which kind of life after death we're gonna face. That's why in the gospel, in the Heaven and Hell book, we have in the chapter 5 the penal code of the future life. When the spirits and Kardec, they try to explain to us which each man on earth will face after death. And he will face according to what? To his beliefs? No, but according to his deeds, to what goodness he had done in this life to the others. So, if I could give any advice at all to anyone here and to myself, is practice charity. Practicing charity means do good to the others
Yeah.
as much as you can, whenever you have the opportunity. Because once we pass the way, that's gonna be our ticket to future happiness or to probably some temporary suffering. Why we say temporary suffering? Because in Spiritism, we don't believe in eternal suffering. We don't believe in hell. We believe that each one of us, even the worst people ever lived on earth, he will have to fix his deeds. He will have to deal with the consequence of his actions in certain stage. And after that, he will have a chance also. But here we are talking about something a bit more tangible that it's like this. If I knew I would die tomorrow, would I be able to say to myself, I did my best? What do I mean by did my best? Oh, I enjoyed the world. I traveled the world. I had the best meals. I was with friends having drinks. I was having a good time.
Yeah.
That's not the best which I'm talking about. The best which I'm talking about is this, according to spiritism, of course, according to we believe, and most of the traditions they would believe in the same. How much goodness have I done to the others? That's my best. So if I ask this question today, and I know I'm gonna be dying tomorrow, what would be my reply? what would be the reply for everyone who is watching us? Have you done your best? Have you tried at least to practice charity, like Stevan said, to someone close to you? Could be your neighbor, could be someone from your family, could be someone at work, could be, let's say, a neighbor that you don't like because he's very noisy in the evening. But have you tried your best? Because if you do this, then we're going to be following the teachings of St. Paul here when he says, without charity, there is no salvation. So if we understand that the only way that we're going to be progressing with happiness is to helping the others, then we would be a bit more careful in our actions and not only thinking about ourselves, about our pleasure right now, about what I like, what I want, what is my right to have, and things like this. And then we're gonna be thinking, what maybe the other person needs. Okay, I cannot give everything which everyone needs, but in my powers here, am I giving, you know, the best I can, or the most I can give to that person? Of course, we are not saying to give everything to everyone, giving everything to the poor, like Jesus said here. And even this part, the Spirit explained to us that when Jesus say these kind of things, he's trying to use strong words in order to touch people in their hearts, especially the time that he lived. But we are not talking about leaving everything behind and helping the others. If you can do it, happy days. God bless you. But we are saying like this: if we know that someone is in need beside me, if I'm giving, good morning to that person, is that an honest good morning? When I ask that person, hey, how are you? Do I really want to know how is that person? Do I mean it? Or if you just ask for politeness, for the sake of being polite, you are not practicing charity. You are being like a Pharisee. You are just using a mask. You are not being honest. Then we fall into a trouble, because then we are not practicing charity. We believe we are practicing charity, or we are pretending to society that we are practicing charity to the others to see. But we know that we aren't, and that's something that we should kind of care and think about. What do you think, Stevan?
I have nothing to say, but it is, it is. We must we must move forward, my friends. We are here to evolve. We are here to do our best. I'm not saying we are here to make things right every time. No. When when we return home, I think the first question they're gonna ask us is not what you did good. Well, no. They will ask us, did you do your best? If your answer was yes, happy days. But unfortunately, most of us say no. So do your best. Forget about the society judgments. Forget it. Let's live in peace with ourselves. I think that's the message for today. You know, I think is yeah. But anyway, that's it, the guys. You have something to say, guys? Otherwise, we're gonna be starting. We reach that point. If we keep saying, we will be repetitive. You know. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know, and then And and it's important to bring here, uh, doesn't matter which religion you are. Doing good doesn't, oh, I am Spiritist, oh, I am Catholic, I am Protestant, I am Buddhist. No. Doing good, it's beyond religion. It's the other way around. Doing good, when we really do good, think of the others, we have Protestants mixed with Spiritists, Spiritists mixed with Catholics, Catholics mixed with Jewish, Jewish mixed with
Atheists and
Orthodox,
so on.
and all these mixes mixed with atheists, because their common goal there is not religion, it is the other. Okay,
Steve,
don't
just
have no
before,
questions. Okay, I don't know if this sounds good or sounds bad, but anyway, you have no questions. He has no questions. You know?
just before we do the final praise, Steven, just make some reminders. I know we said that before, but again, guys, we're still looking for a place in order to have our meetings face to face as we used to have before. The presential meetings yet will take a bit longer in order to happen, but we're still gonna be doing our lives here. We're gonna do something hybrid in the future. That's gonna be in the presential place once we find, plus the Facebook and YouTube lives here still, because we believe that may help us, And also in 30 minutes, we're gonna be having our spiritual healing. That's gonna be done on our YouTube channel. I'm gonna post here for those who doesn't know our YouTube channel right here in the comments. But that's it. That's the announcements. Do you have anything to say, Steven?
No, just say we got to hear two wonderful comments. First one is from Paula Giazon. She says, the best religion is love and respect. And our friend John, thank you for watching us. When we realize that God has placed the friends and neighbors in our lives for a reason, to encourage us to practice the charity that you two have described so well, no matter what belief system we are aligned with. That's it. John, this is the difference between trials and atonements words and happy words. Is just this. But in order to practice that, sometimes, in most of the times, we don't want. We say, "Oh, this is too much for me." I don't know. The only thing I know, we will reach a happy word. How long time? Question mark. But we will reach. Okie dokie. So, what I already said, the announcements. So tomorrow we have the spiritual light. It's 1 year program. So celebration of anniversary of 1 year. So I hope to see you all there. And Thursday we do have our spirits book studying with Nade. Okay. And don't forget today our virtual healing at 83rd on YouTube channel, as Wanderley said. Okay, Wanderley, would you mind to do the final prayer?
No, let's do it.
Okay.
So, for those who feel comfortable, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes, to take a deep breath. Tonight, dear God, I just want to thank you for everything that we have, for the good spirits, to being very supportive with us here in Ireland for over 11 or 12 years already, talking about Spiritism in Dublin, in Ireland. In this country, which has supported us, which nowadays we can call it home. Thanks for the mentors of this lovely country. Thanks for all the workers who passed in that center. Thanks for every visitor, for everyone who has been watching our lives over 2 years now. We are very thankful for all those people. Thanks also, dear God, to have this opportunity to be talking about Spiritism and Jesus every Tuesday and Thursdays and Sundays. May the good spirits bless this country and all the people, especially those ones who are in need in hospitals, in prisons, those ones who are in despair, those ones who have their soul burning inside. Help those, dear God, and may the good spirits help us to keep bringing messages which can lead to some hope to everyone in this country and all over the place. Thank God, and so be it.
Amen. Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a nice evening. I'll see you all tomorrow and Thursday. Thank you. Thank you, Wanderley.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Patrocinio. Thank you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.